Yo, what's good, guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, man, where have you been? We missed you. Make sure to subscribe and to join the family because I drop tutorials just like this pretty much every single day. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about the first thing that you should do when you're mixing. Really the first step before you even get hands on and really dig into the mix. And I'm going to tell you why you should do this first, and I'm going to give you an example because I know a lot of people, they don't know where to start. And I've been there. So let's get into it. All right, the first thing that you should be doing once you pull a mix up is doing what's called a static mix. Static as in not moving, not dynamic. So what I mean by this is the first thing you want to do is levels and panning. Get everything roughly balanced and panned where it's going to be when the mix is done. Now, this isn't permanent and you can change it later, but there's a few reasons why you'd want to do this first. Once you get this static mix, that's like 80% of the work. Some static mixes take longer than others, some just take a couple seconds. It's depending on the arrangement and how dense the mix is, but it's very important that you get this out of the way first. Firstly, you're going to, when you start diving in and EQing and compressing and really getting hands-on with individual elements, you want to make sure that it's at the roughly the level that it's going to be at when you're done with the mix, because let's say you're mixing a vocal and it's way too loud. You might be hearing problems in EQing, over EQing, and reducing too many frequencies just because it's too loud, when really you just needed to turn it down. Or vice versa, if it's too quiet, you might not hear it and you might overcompensate, you might overcompress, oversaturate, whatever, right? A lot of issues can arise from not having the right balance first and then trying to process it. So when you get it roughly balanced where it's going to be, you're actually hearing it closer to finish, so you can make better decisions. You won't over EQ, you won't over compress, you won't under EQ, you won't under compress, etc. Right? So that's why it's important to get roughly where you're going to have it first, so then when you start processing, you're at least hearing it how it should actually be. Also, everything interacts together. So if the vocal is way louder than the guitar, you might not even hear that there's frequency masking going on because the vocal is just so much louder. You can't even hear the guitar, period. So that's another issue that'll happen if you don't make a static mix first. Also, back in the day, people didn't have all these fancy tools and plugins, right? They just had faders and with volume and panning, and they made the mix work. So if you can get your mix to work and be, pretty close to done with just that, the most basic things that everybody wants to overlook, you're going to have a much better mix once you finally do dive in and start using these advanced tools that we have in today's day and age. All right, so let me give you an example. What I have here is a beat that I just produced. I'm going to be uploading it to my BeatStars. I reset all the faders to 0, so everything is at 0, and I'm gonna show you, you're gonna hear that the mix is way off, the balance is way off. Some things are way too quiet, some things are way too loud, and I'll show you that. So I hear my tag is too low, the 808 is too high, the clap is way too low, the hi-hat might be too high. Things are just way out of balance. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through real quick and make my static mix, which is just levels and panning. I'm going to do that real quick, show you how it's done, show you an example, show you how quick it really can be, and then we'll see what we have from there. So let me do that. So maybe something like that for the levels. And now I'll go through and just do a little bit of panning. And this is just an instrumental. It's not meant to be an entire song because vocals are intended to go on it. So the mix may change, but we'll get it roughly where we want it to be. So all I did was 5 degrees to the left on that snare, not the main clap, but the snare. I would have panned the open hi-hats that hit with the 808, but they already have a little panning built into the sample, so we're good to go there. So all I did was a little bit of panning on that one snare, and that's it. But sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you'll do a little more, but that's it. Now I got my volume and my panning. This is my rough static mix. Now I can dive in, start EQing, whatever I might do. But at least things are balanced. And once again, this is subject to change. This is not permanent. If when I start mixing, I want to bring something up, bring something down, I can do that. We're not locked into this, but now at least I'm hearing things in a rough ballpark of where it's going to be, so I'll make better mix decisions from here on out. So that's it for today, guys. Hope that helped you. Make sure to try out a static mix before you really dive in, and let me know how you like it down in the comments below. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, name your firstborn child after me. I'd really appreciate it. And believe it or not, the algorithm does too. Anyways, guys, I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Peace.